All right, now. All right, bro. Listen. Nowhere today. We shooting videos out all day, all day. All right, so this is Billionaires' most expensive cars, bro. I want to see something Japanese on here, something Asian. All right, it's Colin Seg is Asian, right? If I'm not mistaken. I think so. Let's
faster than jets, in whips that look all types of crazy. Billionaires own cars faster than jets, in whips that look all types of crazy. Like this car from the future, gold-plated cars, and even
that's how I know that ain't even a fucking car. Ain't no wheels on it, nigga.
Cars for billionaires with a furry fetish. Some of their most expensive cars also have insane features, like eject buttons, or even a whole flying mode. But they also do ridiculous things with their most expensive cars, like blowing them up for fun, or launching them off cliffs. These are Billionaires' most expensive cars. And first up, Kim Kardashian.
Here's the thing, right? And even before they even show anybody, none of them cars actually look good. They just look ridiculous, bro.
She owns one of the weirdest cars I've ever seen. Of course, she owns some standard cars, like the new Cybertruck, a Ferrari 458 Italia, as well as owning 3 different Lambos, the Huracan, Aventador, and Urus. But she didn't give it all up on tape with Ray J just for that, so she got her a
nigga. Why would you include that in this video, bro? You know
another Urus completely wrapped in fur. Damn, I didn't realize she was a furry. Elon Musk is a furry too. Or at least fur curious, whatever that means. But he would never disrespect a car like that. His wraps look sick. Obviously, he owns all of the Teslas, but it doesn't stop there. When he made his first bag, he bought a McLaren F1 for $1 million. But he owns something even crazier. A car that can literally turn into a submarine. This car from the James Bond movie actually works. And weirdly enough, some random couple found it in an abandoned storage unit. That ended up being the biggest.
How the fuck? Think about that. How the fuck do you find this car in an abandoned storage unit, bro?
Because once Elon heard about it, he bought it from them for $1 million. Elon basically saved their life.
Nigga finessed them. Oh
with that purchase. God. But Tiger Woods' cars almost killed him. Tiger was speeding at 100 miles an hour in his $200,000 GMC before he launched off a cliff like.
See how niggas just telling a story with no context? Though Tiger Woods almost.
He was in GTA. According to the cops, he accidentally pushed the gas instead of the brake, which required him to get pried out of the chewed-up car.
I ain't gonna lie, I've been there before.
He's lucky to be alive. But that's not even the only time Tiger was in a wreck. Because one day, he decided to purchase a $1.5 million Porsche Carrera GT. But on the way back from the dealership, he spun out and ended up hitting the grass outside his house. This thing could hit 130 miles per hour in 10 seconds. So accidentally hitting the gas that time would have been fatal. Donald Trump would never crash though, mostly because he doesn't drive anymore. But he still owns some insane cars, like a $300,000 Rolls Royce, a $400,000 McLaren, and a $460,000 Lamborghini Diablo. But like I said, dude doesn't drive any.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. Let me see a little Sam McLaren R34 Supra, RX-7, a 350Z for sure. I still want that car. Yeah, I can even get that car now. And then get some money and then get another one, bro. Veilside, bro. How many cars I just need? Like 5? That's all I need. It's all I need in this life, bro. It's all I
anymore. Not like he gets around in his decked out presidential limo. The inside is covered in gold and expensive leather, but it's a presidential limo, so it has way more than just.
See how I say no American, no European? Only European car I possibly would get is probably a 63. Probably a 63, yeah. And a Porsche.
Luxury. Just, you know, it houses every kind of weapon you can imagine to pop anyone running up on him. Not to mention the door handles will electrocute you. And it has James Bond level escape tactics. Taxpayers spent $1.5 million for him to ride around in this limo. And the limo even comes with its own private jet to get flown wherever the president is. Mark Cuban has something similar, but somehow it's even more expensive. The Mercedes Pullman Guard, which is a tank limousine reserved for rich-ass families and dictators, worth $1.6 mil. I guess when you're just an owner of an NBA team, you only buy boring cars. But LeBron James, the GOAT of the NBA, is a completely different story. Bro owns a couple Raris, like the 458 Italia Spider, and the 599 GTP.
I'm sorry, we're talking about cars, bro, so I'm gonna have to pause this shit a lot, bro. I'm telling you, I hate convertibles, bro. I hate convertibles. The concept that you can only drive, it's only like really practical to drive this car when it's hot out, bro, and if, let's just say the weather just randomly decides to change. If it gets cold, if it rains, if it snows, bro, you would not be driving the car, bro. That to me is the dumbest shit ever, bro. I hate convertibles so much. It's insane, bro. It's like,
Fiorano, but he also owns a $670,000 Lamborghini Aventador Roadster. This ain't your average Lambo you'll see in LA though. It's got a custom paint job to match LeBron's custom Nike shoes, the X1 King's Pride Floral. Rappers been matching the cars of their shoes with supercars for a while, but having a custom supercar paint job to match your custom Nike shoes is just a completely different level. That's not even LeBron's most expensive car though, because he owns a blacked out Porsche 918 Spider. Yeah, this man owns two different types of Spiders, the Rari and the Porsche, except the Porsche Spider cost him $1.4 million.
Jeez.
And after he won the NBA championship in 2020, he had to treat himself to a $1.8 million G650 Landaulet. Some of these cars look straight up AI generated. Honestly, if you're trying to make a bag like LeBron, whoever figures out how to use AI the best is gonna make millions. Like you could make one of these AI TikToks that just
hold on
tells a story, and if you get a lot of views, you could make thousands of dollars on. You have a fully own video. Hi everybody. License plate says Snap under Evan Spiegel apparently, because this sick black Lamborghini Huracan has been seen driving reckless around a neighborhood right outside of LA. Everyone thought it was Evan, because the license plate says Snap CEO on it. People were talking online how they're gonna get him arrested, how he's an a-hole, and how he could hit someone the way he's driving. But it turns out, he was just framed, because the owner of that car is actually some random guy. I don't know if he's friends with Evan and is trolling him, or if he hates him and is just trying to screw him over. But that's gotta be one of the most unique trolls I've ever seen. What Evan actually bought was this nice red Ferrari for $300K. Even though Mark Zuckerberg wants you to think he's only got a Honda Fit, he secretly has one supercar too, a 2014 Pagani Huayra. Most people think of Ferraris or Lamborghinis.
Now that's another car I'd probably say
when it comes to Italy, but since the design is sick and the car can hit 0 to 60 in 3 seconds flat, it became so popular that even the Lizard Man was willing to pay $2 million for one. We've mostly talked about new supercars so far, but George Lucas, you know, the guy who made Star Wars, owns some crazy classics because he's basically as old as a dinosaur, which is why he bought a 1974 Ferrari Dino, which cost him $500K. But his favorite car is called the Tucker 48, because back in the day, they were much more creative with car names.
That's the skin from Overwatch. That's the Diva skin.
This car in particular was made by a guy named Tucker in 1948. If you ever see one, you'll know, because it's like the only car that has a headlight right in the middle, which people call the Cyclops Eye. Only 51 of these cars were ever made, and every collector would love to have one, which caused the price to go up over $2 million. Every collector would also die to have Kylie Jenner's garage, because she balled out way harder. The cheapest car from her collection is a $300,000 pink Rolls Royce, which surprisingly is the only pink whip she's got. She's also contracted the Urus virus, like most famous people in LA, and went with the color orange, which set her back $440K. But Kylie was pushing P when she got her LaFerrari. No, literally. It's called a push present, and she got it from Travis Scott for birthing Stormy. The LaFerrari is the epitome of what Ferrari represents. A slick, fast, dope whip. I mean, all the other Ferraris got names like SF90 or 458 Italia, but in English, LaFerrari just means the Ferrari. And to own the Ferrari, it costs
my god, McLarens are so fire, bro. They're so
$1.4 million,
fire, bro.
But that's not even her most expensive, because she's got a $3 million Bugatti Chiron as well. Kylie has a cool collection for sure, but it still ain't got nothing on Michael Jordan's. His collection is so sick that Nike even designed the Air Jordan 6s after one of his cars. Because Jordan's Porsche Slant Nose 930 Turbo Cabriolet isn't just a mouthful of words, it's iconic. So Nike designed the 6s with that car in mind. Like you could see the heel tab is supposed to look like the Porsche's whale tail spoiler. This Porsche was also the first one to include pop-up headlights, which is rare since no supercars seem to have that anymore. But this slant nose is just a slight $200K. His Ferrari collection is worth way more, because dude has 3 different Ferraris, an F430, a 488 Pista Spider, and a 599. Those are still only hundreds of thousands of dollars though. And you know the boy has cars in the millions, like his Bugatti Veyron Sang Noir. There's only 12 of these cars in
a black cat Bugatti, bro.
Existence, and Drake is the only other known owner of one, except Drake ain't a billionaire, so he's not in this video. But Jordan's $2.2 million Sang Noir translates to black blood, which sounds lethal, especially since this thing could hit 250 miles per hour, absolutely smoking any other car on the road, except his most expensive car, a Hennessy Venom F5 Revolution Roadster. And you better hope anyone driving this ain't off the Henny, because this car goes over 300 miles per hour. That's gotta be as fast as a missile. Like this car could annihilate an entire elementary school. Usually, hypercars like this don't have many features.
Bro, why is that what you'd say for a comment?
Because it's all about speed. But the Venom F5 isn't like most cars. Like you could take off the roof, and it has a glass window that shows the engine. But most of the other features really let you know this thing can outrun a freaking jet. First of all, the engine is literally certified to be used in jets because it's so good. Also, the steering wheel is the same as what planes use. It's got a ton of buttons that allow you to control all types of features in the car too, just like a plane. It's basically a plane without wings, and I guess it makes sense that Air Jordan owns a car that could be in the air. But of course, it wasn't cheap, because Jordan had to pay $3.5 million for it.
I was just about, I would have been wrong anyway.
And if you want a car like that, all you gotta do is subscribe right now. Alright, maybe you won't actually get a car, but you do get more videos like this in your sub box. He can afford it though, just like I'm sure Taylor Swift could too. As a country girl though, she mostly owns some custom trucks, but you might be surprised. She's got a couple supercars too, like this $123,000 Audi R8 that she got back in 2009.
To be honest, that's crazy, considering she is really up there with the rest of these people. And she spent that little on a car.
She made a bag of her album Fearless, but soon after, the album started doing crazy numbers, making her even more money. So she just had to upgrade, and she decided on a facelifted Porsche 911 Turbo. Facelifted means that they redesigned some of the interior and body to a more modern look. With that upgrade, it ended up costing her $250,000. Rihanna also has the same car. Her favorite car to drive is the Porsche 997 Turbo. She's seen driving that all the time. The 997 was only made for 2 years before it's discontinued, and you could buy it right now for $100K. Her most expensive car though is the Mercedes SLR McLaren Sterling Moss, a special edition collab between the two companies. It's named after a British racing driver, so you know they had to make this whip fast. It tops out at speeds a little over 250 miles per hour, can hit 0 to 60 in just under 3 seconds. And cost $3.5 million. Surprisingly,
this is what I'm saying, bro. All that money for that?
Rihanna and Kanye have more in common with their taste for cars than you might think. Like Kanye also owns a Mercedes, except it's a Maybach. Well, he used to own it at least. This $350,000 car was destroyed in his Otis music video with Jay-Z, so Bro copped a $500,000 Lamborghini Aventador until his assistant crashed it into his gate. He probably didn't care.
Oh my god. You know what's crazy? Some people react like that, like when someone gets hurt. But for me, it's a car, bro. It's a car, bro.
His most expensive whip is way more than $500K, because Ye owns the same car Rihanna owns, which is a $3.5 million Sterling Moss. Kanye shouldn't just take inspiration from Rihanna though. He should take inspiration from Oprah's most expensive car too, because it would teach him a thing or two about hating on Jews. She's got a Mercedes-Benz 300 SL with gull-wing doors, and it's super expensive because it's based on some crazy history. After the Germans surrendered in World War II, they needed something else to do, so they stopped dropping bombs and started dropping supercars instead. Like the German company Mercedes used to make the German tanks and artillery, but when the war ended, they changed their factory to make race cars instead. The first race car they produced was called the W194 300 SL, and Oprah's car is inspired by that race car, making it cost $4 million. But Oprah fell off, who cares? Jeff Bezos though is still going hard, and he's got to own the most supercars out of all these billionaires. On the cheap end, he owns a $3 million Ferrari Pininfarina Sergio. There were only 6 of these made.
I take it back. It's a convertible. No, fuck that. Fuck that.
And Ferrari handpicked the people allowed to buy it. He also owns this W Motors Lycan Hypersport, which is the most expensive car to ever be featured in a Fast and Furious film, costing him $3.4 million. Mance also has a Bugatti Chiron that's Oreo flavored, worth $3.5 million. But like I said, these are all his cheap cars. Don't get me wrong, Bugattis are dope and still the fastest cars on the market. But peep Jeff's Koenigsegg CCXR Trevita.
I knew it. I told you.
Can hit 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds and has a special carbon fiber weave that has over 1 million small white diamonds. It's supposed to be one of 3, but since all the diamonds were so complicated to produce in the weave, only 2 were ever made, making it the rarest Koenigsegg in history, setting Bezos back $4.8 million. And that's still only Bezos' second most expensive car. The most expensive car he owns is the Lamborghini Veneta Roadster. This special edition Lambo was made for the 50th anniversary of the company, and it cost him $10 million.
I ain't gonna lie. 10 M's for a Guinea.
If I had that car, I would cry tears of joy. But what Vince McMahon does to his supercars is gonna make you cry tears of sadness, because he's known for completely destroying his cars, just for TV entertainment. Like when he had a WWE star rip off the door for his limousine, and then had him do something I didn't even think was possible.
Oh my God.
Yo, that is fucking sick. The crazy thing is I remember seeing when this happened, bro. It's so crazy to think about how long ago it was.
Dude flipped Vince's $100,000 limo like a goddamn table. But that's still not even the most expensive car he's destroyed for TV, because he also destroyed this classic 1968 Corvette Stingray. At least he did it in a creative way, though.
That's one of the Corvettes from Mr. McMahon's collection. That's a $50,000 car! Austin is loading!
Oh, shit.
Damn, that just hurts my soul to see a classic destroyed like that. Do anything for clout, I guess.
Yeah.
In the condition it was in, it could have easily sold for $300,000. But $300K is chump change to the Saudi royal family, though. Because that oil money go
Yeah, this is where the crazy.
They've been stacking up one of the most insane collections known to man, like this gold Range Rover and gold G-Wagon. They also own a Lamborghini.
I wonder. Let me ask you, America. Let me ask you, world. You wake up, you got oil money out the wazoo. I'm talking about you flip the sheet off you, nigga, and it's a M that flew off the sheet, right? Off the blanket, off the cover, right? What's the first thing you do? What do you go spend on, bro? What do you do? What do you do when you have unlimited, Mr. Unlimited amounts of funds, bro? What do you do with that? What do you do? Personally, I go to Japan.
Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, and that can hit 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. Except they don't own this one. They own this one. Yeah, they're obsessed with gold. Normally an SVJ is $700,000, but with all this gold, it's gotta be over $1 million. If you were in the royal family, would you rather drive this SVJ, or are you more of a gold Phantom kind of guy? The Rolls is a drop head coupe, and taking the roof off this car doesn't create much wind compared to other drop tops. Normally this Rolls is $300K. All the gold makes it an estimated $700K though. But you'll never guess what color their Bugatti Veyron Grand Sport is. It's pink. Nah, I'm joking, of course it's gold. It's been seen driving through the streets of London to flex that oil money. A peasant Bugatti like Andrew Tate's is 1.5 mil, but if you want a gold one, it'll be 12.5. And obviously, the richest man in
now that is worth 12 M's right there.
Asia is gonna own some crazy whips. Mukesh Ambani, like this $530,000 SF90 Stradale. This is the first ever Rari. That's a hybrid of gas and electric. The electric side is used for acceleration, allowing it to hit 0 to 60 as fast as a Bugatti at 2.5 seconds. Then it switches over to gas.
I ain't gonna lie, my Ultima does it in like what? It gotta be like 8 seconds, my nigga. So it goes 0 to 60 at 2?
Yes, and tops out at speeds around 210 miles per hour. But his most expensive car isn't about speed, it's about safety. Because the Mercedes S660 car, which is almost identical to Mark Cuban's, is a $1.5 million limo tank. I guess when you're a billionaire, why take the risk? There's some crazy people out there, man. But the world's highest paid athlete, Cristiano Ronaldo, has an addiction to buying the crazy supercars available. Dude has Lambos, Ferraris, Paganis, and
he's a billionaire? Where have I been?
McLarens, all worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. But come on, we're talking about billionaires' most expensive cars. So we gotta talk about his Bugatti collection. He owns both the Bugatti Veyron and the Chiron. The Veyron is 2.5 mil, and the Chiron is 3.9 mil. These are just basic Bugattis though. Everyone has one of them, right? But this is Ronaldo, so you know the boy has multiple Bugattis that are over 10 mil, like his Bugatti 110. This beast can hit 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds, making it the quickest car in this video. It's also the fastest, reaching top speeds of 240 miles per hour. But the funny thing is, Bugatti had to electronically limit how fast it can go to make it legal. If you took off that limiter, I bet this thing might break 300 miles per hour. There were only 10 of these made, and since Ronaldo wears number 7 on the field, Bugatti let him get the 7th one to match, but only if he paid $13 million, which he happily did. He's also rumored to have the most expensive supercar in the world, the Bugatti La Voiture Noire, which has an interesting backstory, because in French, that just means the black car, but really, that's a tribute to the missing Bugatti, the Type 57 Atlantic from the 1930s. See, there were only 4 Bugatti Atlantics ever made, but one of them was lost during World War II, never to be found again. So
how the fuck do you lose a Bugatti?
La Voiture Noire is a legendary tribute, which is also why there was only one made, making it cost $19 million. But if the original car from the 1930s ever surfaced, it would be worth upwards of $100 million, because the founder of Bugatti, Jean Bugatti, drove the car himself. Ronaldo actually wanted to own one car that was even more expensive, but he was outbid by his biggest enemy at the last second, Lionel Messi. Yeah, Messi has your average Ferraris, Mercedes, and Paganis, but he wanted to flex on Ronaldo so hard that Ronaldo wouldn't even want to pull up next to him at the club. It all started when the Ferrari Spider Scaglietti went up for auction in 2016. It's one of the rarest Ferraris in the world, and it's such a work of art. It's compared to Picasso's paintings. It was also driven by some of the best drivers in the world, like Stirling Moss, who used to win Formula 1 championships back when it was made in 1957. So when the bidding started at 20 million, Ronaldo and Messi both jumped in, continuing to outbid each other until the price reached 36 million. And I guess Messi is the GOAT, because Ronaldo lost the World Cup and the Ferrari to Messi. But Giorgio Armani got to do something that almost no one has ever been allowed to do before, which is designing his own supercar with Mercedes. Since he basically designed all the fashion for red carpet events, people thought he would be great at designing his own car too. But
and I feel like he wasn't.
Man, were they wrong. I mean, look at this Mercedes CLK. This car was outdated before it was even released, and it cost $93,000. That's still pennies compared to Jay-Z and Beyonce, because they own the most expensive car in the world. But before they copped that, apparently they bought the Gold Dars Prom Bron, used in the movie The Dictator. This is a real armored vehicle that can withstand AK-47s and rocket launchers. And since it's gold plated, it would have cost them 1.1 mil. Jay-Z's also a fan of classic cars. When he was in Milan, he copped a vintage Alfa Romeo Spider for $220K. The other nice classic he's got is the 1957 Corvette C1, which he's been seen driving Blue Ivy around in, which is worth about 100 bands right now. But
this is an old car, I'd say, isn't it? Yo. Like I was saying, I thought this was a nice one.
He also owns a $2 million Bugatti Grand Sport, which was a gift from Beyonce for his 41st birthday. And you know this,
ladies. Step up.
Man's gotta be stacked, because it doesn't end there. He also owns a $2.2 million Pagani Zonda F, and an $8 million Maybach Accelero, which was featured in his music video Lost One. Now this is a pretty unique car. I feel like Darth Vader would drive this shit. But the most expensive car in the world,
that looks like a Batmobile actually,
is his Rolls-Royce Boat Tail, which is inspired by the older version called the Sweptail. The Sweptail sold for $13 million in 2017, and you'll never guess what the new and improved Boat Tail sold for. This picnic-friendly car 26? Has a champagne cooler,
I'm saying 26.
Christoffel picnic set, cocktail tables, matching chairs, and a parasol, 26. Which is basically a giant umbrella. And all that is 26. Packed in the trunk. It's also a drop top in case you like that kind of thing. Even though it's just a rumor that he owns a boat tail. The internet detectives have made a very strong case that he actually does own this. And if he does, it would have cost him $30 million. The most expensive car a company has ever sold. Now, Jay-Z might be mega rich, but I still don't think he's Rothschild's rich. Most of the cars we know the Rothschilds own are from way back in the day, since all their kids live privately. So we're talking about old-ass luxury cars, like the Hispano Suiza J12.
Nice one.
The Rothschilds purchased this back in 1931 for $10,000. And at the time, this was the most expensive car in the world. It could reach 100 miles per hour and hit 0 to 60 in 12 seconds, which is crazy for a car that's almost 100 years old. To put the price in perspective, $10,000 in 1931. It's worth $200,000 today. But these cars are selling for anywhere between $2 and $10 million on the market right now. They also bought a similar looking Hispano Suiza K6 for 15 grand.
That's a crazy
and they're selling for about $3 million today. But those are their cheapest cars, because they also bought a Bugatti Type 55 Super Sport Roadster in 1931.
That's the one right there. That's it.
And this car could reach 112 miles per hour. If you want to buy one of these classics today, you'll have to pay a slight $7 million. But their most expensive car almost killed the owner, Victor Rothschild. It's called the Bugatti 57 SC Atlantic, and it's literally nicknamed the Lord Rothschild. There were only 4 ever sold, and Victor Rothschild bought it back in 1936. But one day, he was driving back home when the engine mysteriously exploded. Eventually, a mechanic came to pick it up and repair it, and this exact car was sold for $30 million in 2010.
Jesus. Damn. W video though.